Welcome to the Triniyah Real Estate YouTube channel, your go-to source for insight into the Connecticut real estate market. If you've ever thought about investing in residential care homes, this video is going to open your eyes. Most investors focus on the property itself, the location, size, or layout, but the real key to success in this business comes down to one simple number. Stick around because understanding that number could be the difference between a thriving investment and an expensive mistake.
So, you're looking to get into the residential care home game in Connecticut? Smart move. You're probably thinking about location, square footage, all that good stuff. But what if I told you the single most important factor for your success isn't the property at all? It's a number. Just one number. In this explainer, we're going to dig into why that number is everything and how it's the key to turning a regular house into a thriving, and more importantly, a compliant care business.
All right, let's just cut right to the chase. The number you need to burn into your brain for this kind of investment in Connecticut is 6. Yep, that's it. 6. It's not about the price tag. It's not about the zip code. It's about this number. It's going to shape literally everything you do from here on out.
So, why 6? What's so special about this number? Well, it's because the entire state of Connecticut has basically written its rulebook around it. I'm talking about zoning, licensing, how much you're going to have to shell out for renovations. It all hinges on the number 6. And believe me, if you get this part wrong, your entire investment could be dead in the water before you've even picked out paint colors.
Okay, so before you even think about jumping on Zillow, we've got to take a step back. The very first question you have to ask yourself is a big one. Who are you going to serve? This decision right here is the fork in the road. It determines exactly which government agency is going to be looking over your shoulder for, well, forever.
See, depending on who you choose to care for, you get assigned a regulatory partner. Let's say you're focusing on adults who need some help with daily living but not medical care. Boom, you're with the Department of Public Health, the DPH. Or maybe you're serving adults with developmental disabilities. Well, then you're answering to the Department of Developmental Services, or DDS. And trust me, each of these agencies plays by a completely different set of rules. And this right here is a bright, flashing line in the sand. The second you do anything that counts as personal care, helping with meds, supervision, you name it, you've crossed over. You're not just a landlord collecting rent anymore. Nope. You're a care provider. And that means you absolutely must have a state license. If all you're doing is providing a roof, like in an unlicensed sober home, that's a whole different ballgame. Way, way simpler. Okay, so you've figured out who you're going to serve. Great. Now, and only now, can we start the property hunt. But listen, this is not your typical real estate search. We're not just talking about bedrooms and bathrooms. This is about threading a needle through a maze of zoning laws, state statutes, and yeah, what the neighbors are going to think.
And here we are. This is it. This is why the number 6 is your golden ticket. Think of this state law as your superpower, your legal shield. It says point blank that if your home has 6 or fewer residents, the town has to treat you just like any other single-family house on the block. No special hearings, no discriminatory permits. This is a huge deal. It's your protection against getting shut down by local politics.
So how do you actually use this legal superpower? You do your homework, meticulously. Here's your checklist before you even dream of making an offer. 1. Find the property's exact zoning district on the town map. 2. Check what's allowed in that district. 3. Make sure you're not within 1,000 feet of another similar home. That's a big one. And 4, this is the most important part. Get a written letter from the town planner confirming you're good to go. That piece of paper, that's your golden ticket. But look, just because you have the law on your side doesn't mean you won't get pushback from the neighbors. The smartest investors I know, they play the long game. They pick a house that just fits, a quiet street, plenty of parking. That's going to save you a world of pain compared to trying to stick a giant, obvious ramp on a house on the busiest street in town. Blending in isn't just nice, it's smart business. All right, you've found the perfect place. You've closed the deal. Awesome. Now open up your wallet, because here comes the most expensive part of this whole adventure, the build-out. This is where you take a normal residential house and turn it into something that meets the tough commercial-grade standards for safety and access here in Connecticut. And let me be crystal clear. We are not talking about granite countertops or fancy light fixtures here. Your money is going to disappear into things that are totally non-negotiable, things mandated by the fire marshal and the Department of Public Health. These aren't suggestions, they're life safety requirements. There's no getting around them. Let's start with the big kahuna, fire sprinklers. Look, if your residents might need even a little bit of help getting out in an emergency, and let's be real, they will, then you need a full sprinkler system. And the price tag for that? Get ready. We're talking $20,000 to $60,000. Just for that. Next up, the bathrooms. They have to be completely accessible. I mean, roll-in showers, walls strong enough for grab bars, enough space for a wheelchair to turn around. This isn't cheap. You could be looking at $8 to $20,000 per bathroom. And I can't tell you how many people I've seen fail their very first state inspection because of a bathroom. Oh, and you bought a 2-story house? And you plan on having residents upstairs? Well, then you have to give them a way to get there. That means an elevator or a platform lift. Cha-ching, tack on another $25,000 to $40,000 to your budget. It adds up fast, doesn't it?
So how do you not go broke before you even open? Simple. You avoid these classic money pit mistakes. Pro tip number 1, do not lift a single hammer before you've met with the fire marshal. 2, just assume you need sprinklers. You probably do. And 3, plan for everything to be commercial grade and fully accessible from the get-go. A little planning up front will save you a fortune. Phew. Okay, the construction is finally done. You'd think you could take a breath, right? Wrong. The big spending might be over, but the constant spending is just beginning. Let's talk about the real financial grind, the day-to-day operating costs. This is where successful businesses are made or broken. So where does all that cash go every month? Well, take a look. One slice of this pie is absolutely massive. I'm talking a whopping 60% of your budget. For what? People, staffing, and payroll. It's not even close. That single line item is bigger than your utilities, food, maintenance, everything else combined. Let's put some hard numbers to that. For a little 6-bed home, you're going to be burning through $30,000, maybe $40,000 every single month. And that's before the mortgage payment. I'm going to say that again, before the mortgage. This is a business that eats cash, so you better have deep pockets or solid financial plan. Which brings us to funding. And you can just forget about a typical residential mortgage. It's not going to happen. A bank looks at this and doesn't see a house. They see a business. That means you need commercial financing, probably an SBA loan. And they're not going to care about your W-2. They want to see a rock-solid business plan. They're lending money based on how well they think your business is going to do. And you know what else is different? Insurance. Your regular homeowner's policy might be, what, a couple grand a year? Now try getting a quote for a licensed care home. You're going to need a whole suite of policies, general liability, professional liability, workers' comp, and you'll be lucky if the bill is less than 9 or 10 times what you're used to. It's a completely different world of risk. All right, let's bring this all home and talk about the long game, because a really savvy investor isn't just thinking about opening the doors, they're thinking about their exit strategy from day one. How do you eventually cash out? And what is it that you're really building here? So, if you remember nothing else from this, remember these 5 things. 1. The rule of 6 is your best friend for zoning. 2. The fire marshal has the final say. Period. 3. Staffing is where all your money will go. Budget for it. 4. You need a commercial loan, not a residential one. And 5, and this is the big one, that piece of paper, your state license, that's your most valuable asset, even more than the building. And that leads to this final, really important concept. You have to understand that you own 2 things. The property, yeah, but also the licensed business inside the property. And you can't just sell that license like you sell a car. No way. The state has to approve any new owner. They have to vet them completely. This makes selling your business a whole lot more complicated than just selling a house. So let's end here. The road to opening one of these homes in Connecticut, it's not easy. The rules are strict and the costs are, frankly, huge. This isn't a passive investment. It demands a ton of capital and you have to know what you're doing. So the real question you've got to ask yourself is this. Is your investment plan built just to make a buck? Or is it built to handle the incredible responsibility of the mission itself?
Before we wrap up, just a quick note, we're a real estate brokerage, not attorneys, financial advisors, or tax professionals. The information in this video is for informational purposes only, and you should independently verify all details with qualified professionals before making any investment decisions. If you're interested in purchasing a property to use as a residential care home here in Connecticut, give our office a call at 203-200-0933. We'd be happy to help you find the right property and guide you through the process. And don't forget to subscribe to the Triniyah Real Estate YouTube channel for more tips, insights, and strategies about Connecticut real estate.